Okay, guys, I just finished the All Blacks Legacy book. So I pulled out one of my two All Blacks jerseys. Um, Currently in the Airbnb, so I'm going to get into it again. But that's again, as I said, the first time. The first one was for to what was it? Move to a safer area, and well, I went from a place where it's very high for murder and armed robbery, and it's high for fraud, and very high for assault, to a place where it's low and everything. There's all those things. And it's got very high, high, moderate, low, very low. I went from very high to low. Um, and got a full time job down here. I got a club to go to, And yes, so that was the achievements. Now, obviously, the next three would be to pay off this overdraft, as well as um, find myself a permanent place to stay and start a little thing on my side, on the side, like a little business thing. Search what that is, I'm not going to give any more details. Legacy book. Now, there's so many stuff in here that's amazing. It's a lot of it's just confirming. So, what's my history with the? Well, I played. Now, I gave up rugby for the last 2 years of my high school because I was struggling at high school, so I ended up doing that in order to focus and then graduate. Then I played another 2 years and then did the same for my degree, my last year of my degree. But all up, I played rugby for about 10 years and, actual seasons playing, and another 5 of rugby league, which is like a different version of rugby, but you don't have unlimited tackles. You've only got 6 tackles, and you don't fight for the ball on the ground. And for a few other rules changed. But yeah. So here's the a Rugby World Cup 2019 jersey. That was for because they have the World Cup every 4 years. 1987. There was 1987 was the first one, and the most recent one was 2019. The next one will be the 10th Rugby World Cup in history, 2023. And here's the 3 that we won. So we lost this World Cup, but as you can see, before this World Cup 2019 was 2015, we won it, and the one before that was 2011, we won it, and won the first one. Yes, and so I'm just still waiting for tickets, still gonna, because I still have about $100 that I spend to reward myself, and then I get my needs met, and then everything else is savings. So whenever those tickets, because I've seen the All Blacks live twice, once against Fiji and once against Scotland, but their 3 biggest rivalries that have always been their hardest opponents, in my opinion, have always been Australia, South Africa, and those are the 2 biggest ones. And then there's a bit of England and France, But yeah, I've only seen them live twice against Fiji and Scotland. So when the tickets for, because there's unless COVID stops it, they're gonna have a match against Australia. So I'll be going to that one unless COVID stops it. And then there's another one they got against South Africa. So this time around, I'm just gonna, I've done really well to do everything I've done in the past year and all that. So I think I'll buy a ticket to both those games. That'll be my money spent on myself for congratulating myself for that week. On those 2 weeks, that'll be it. The ticket to the game. So I'm just going to read the name of the chapters, because the name of the chapter is basically the name of the principal, all that. Then I'm going to read the wise proverbs at the back, which they have 21 of them with in Māori language and then translated to English. So 15 chapters because there's 15 players. So wonder why there's 15 chapters and 15 principles with each chapter based upon one principle. It's probably more, but it's just befitting for a rugby team who has 15 players on the field. Right? Chapter 1, character. Chapter 2, adapt. Chapter 3, purpose. Chapter 4, responsibility. Chapter 5, learn. Chapter 6, whānau, which means family, or, basically your whānau is those who you're closest to. And in an organizational situation, they're your whānau because you're working with them every single day and you'll have that strong connection. Okay, I'll go for them again. Number 1, character. Chapter 2, adapt. Chapter 3, purpose. Chapter 4, responsibility. Chapter 5, learn. Chapter 6, whānau. Chapter 7, expectations. Chapter 8, preparation. Chapter 9, pressure. Chapter 10, authenticity. Chapter 11, sacrifice. Chapter 12, language. Like your language and how you talk to yourself and affirmations and how you speak and how you talk to others and to yourself and everything. Chapter 13, ritual. Ritualize to actualize. The All Blacks have not lost to Wales, which is one of the. There's about 6 countries in the world where rugby is one of the 2 or 3 main sports. The All Blacks haven't lost to Wales since 1953. They have a ritual where there's a certain pub where there was something that happened that sent one of the All Blacks got sent home, and it was like real bias, and ended up costing him his career and things like that. But it was really extreme. But it was done by the Welsh officials. So they drive past that pub, and they yell out, "We never lose to Wales," and that's their ritual every time they play against Wales. Because the biggest stadium is in that of Wales is in that city, so they always drive past that pub and say, "We never lose to Wales," and go and have a beer somewhere else. Just one or something, or even don't have to have a beer. They just say they have a drink, so you could have a I don't know, orange juice, but it's a ritual, Chapter 14, whakapapa, which means genealogy, the history, but the genealogy in this one is the genealogy of the All Blacks. They even bring in the fact that they talk about if you've been here for multiple generations, that you connect with you put on this jersey, you're representing all those who have passed away in your family, and that's what you're representing, and you're representing every man that's ever worn this jersey. So that's the whakapapa, and there's all this other stuff. And obviously, chapter 15 is legacy. One of their sayings is, be a good ancestor. Your job is to make sure that the jersey and the team, knowing that's the All Blacks, is in a better position than what it was when you got introduced to the team. When you got put in the team, when you leave, your job is to make sure that the team is in a better place than what it was when you joined it. So there's new standards. That Grant Fox, one of the All Blacks, who he handed over. Jonah Lomu was a guy who went to a couple of World Cups, and he said that they have a ritual that when an All Black retires, or when an All Black hands over his jersey to someone in his position, the All Black will walk up to them with the jersey and hand it to them, like that other person, like when you put it out, and then the next one will come and grab it. But before the other All Black let go, he goes, "Your job is to become the greatest player in the history of All Black rugby that ever wore this number. That is your job." do you swear to that job? So that means that they have to be better than anyone that's ever won it before. That's the oath. That's the standard. Oh yes. Lessons in leadership. Sweep the sheds. Never be too big to do the small things that need to be done. Number 2, go for the gap. When you're on top of your game, change your game. Number 3, play with purpose. Ask why. Number 4, pass the ball. Leaders create leaders. Number 5, create a learning environment. Leaders are teachers. Number 6, no dickheads. Follow the spearhead. That means like to go against the team, go against the team, go against the values and all that. And to, or not only be that, but to not be vulnerable to your teammates. Obviously, you don't be vulnerable to anyone outside the team, but within the team, in that professional environment. Embrace expectations. Aim for the highest cloud. Train to win. Practice under pressure. Keep a blue head. Control your attention. Know thyself. Keep it real. Sacrifice. Find something you would die for and give your life to it. And that something has to be attached to what it means to be an All Black. Invent a language. Sing your world into existence. Ritualize to actualize. Create a culture. Be a good ancestor. Plant trees you'll never see. Write your legacy. This is your time. Now, on TikTok, I get way more views. I get an average of about 200, 150, 200. So it's a lot less than this, but I can go into this in depth, rather than have 1 minute to sum it up. Now, I was going to talk about those 21 wise sayings in the English translations. Here we go. Haere takamua, takamuri, kawa e whai. Be a leader, not a follower. E hara taku tō i te tōtaki tahi, engari he tōtaki tini. Any success should not be attributed to me alone. It was the work of us all. Waiho mā te tangata e mihi. Let someone else praise your virtues. Waiho kia pātai ana. He kaha ui te kaha. Let the questioning continue. The ability of the person is in asking questions. Kaore te kumara e whaki ana tana reka. The kumara, sweet potato, does not need to say how sweet he is. I orea te tuatara, ka puta ki waho. When poked at with a stick, the tuatara will emerge. A problem is solved by continuing to find solutions. He rangi ia. He rangi tā matawhāti. He rangi tā matawhānui. The person with a narrow vision sees a narrow horizon. The person with a wide vision sees a wide horizon. Ki ngā whakaeke haumi. Join those who can join the sections of a canoe. Look for a leader who can bring people together. Kohia te kai rangatira, ruia te taitea. Gather the good food, cast away the rubbish. Te timatanga o te mātauranga ko te wahangu. Te wahanga tuarua ko te whakarongo. The first stage of learning is silence. The second stage is listening. Amuri kia mau ki te kawa maro. Whanake ake. Hold to the spearhead formation of the kawa. He iti wai kōwhao. Waka e tāhuri te waka. A little water seeping through a small hole may swamp a canoe. Kia urupu tātou. Kawa e tau kume. Let us be united, not pulling against one another. Ko taku reo, taku oho. Ko taku reo, taku māpi, mauria. My language is my awakening. My language is the window to my soul. Whai ata e te kahurangi ki te tūohu koe me he maunga teitei. Aim for the highest cloud so that if you miss it, you will hit a lofty mountain. we passed halfway on these wise sayings. Ko te piko o te mahuri, tērā te tupu o te rākau. The way the sapling is shaped determines how the tree grows. Tangata akona ki te kāinga, tūngia ki te marae, tauana. A person who is taught at home will stand with confidence in the community. Mā te rongo ka mōhio, mā te mōhio ka marama, mā te marama ka mātou, mā te mātou ka ora. From listening comes knowledge, from knowledge comes understanding, from understanding comes wisdom, and from wisdom comes well-being. Whakapuputia mai o manuka kia kore ai e whati. Cluster the branches of the manuka so that they will not break. He tangata kiitahi, a person who can be taken at his word. Ka tū te ihi, stand fearless. Kaua e mate wheke, mate ururo. Don't die like an octopus, die like a hammerhead shark. Taringa whakarongo, let your ears listen. He aha te kai o te rangatira, he kōrero, he kōrero, he kōrero. What is the food of a leader? It is knowledge, it is communication. E tipu e reo, mō ngā rā o tōu ao. Grow and branch forth for the days of your world. Thus to te tōrino, haere whakamua, whakamuri. At the same time as the spiral is going forward, it is also returning. Manaki whenua, manaki tangata, haere whakamua. Care for the land, care for the people, go forward. And yeah, that's all I have to say. There's a whole lot of other stuff. It's a pretty good book. A lot of it was reaffirming some new examples and new ways of saying the same thing, but also there was some new stuff as well. So yeah, just finished reading that book. It's my personal little summary. I did a 1-minute summary on TikTok, and it's just did it like just before I did this, and it's already got some views. So you guys have a good night. I'm going to do my 10th day of the first phase of the Warrior Challenge. Have a shower and go to bed. Bye-bye.